Hey, this is Tate Chamberlin. In advance of the next I Am Interchange debate, is water a human right? I sat down with Bently Spang, a Northern Cheyenne artist, to preview the discussion on water. The dialogue and debate is held on August 29th at the filling station in Bozeman. In this podcast, Bently provides a brief history of the Northern Cheyenne, the role, importance, and respect of water to his tribe and to his artistic work. You can check it out. He's been working with Mountain Time Arts and I Am Interchange on this special water project. Hey, Bently, how's it going?
Good. Great to be here. Beautiful day.
What was you were just talking about the Northern Cheyenne. What's kind of the history of that? The outsiders call you that.
Like when settlers first started coming, they said, they heard from the Lakota people, the what people call the Sioux, but they call themselves Lakota. They heard from them that the Lakota called us the Shehana, or the Shehela, or Shehana, and so that morphed into Cheyenne. But what we really call ourselves, the name we refer to ourselves as, is it's pronounced several different ways, but one way is Tsitstas and Suta. So we're made up of two groups of people that came together a long time ago that had similar language. We were actually at one point squaring off to fight each other, and then someone heard the other one's language and saw that it was similar, and so they actually joined up forces. And
yeah, that's great. Kind of a strength in numbers. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your project here with Mountain Time Arts. We've got this 3 performance art pieces, public art pieces that they're doing throughout the summer that have to do with water.
This series that's being, the work that's being presented here is part of a series called the Modern Warrior Series, and I focused on these war shirt forms over the years. This is the 6th, and the previous 5 were created out of photographs. So I kind of mimicked the form of the old war shirts from my people, but used photographs as the material, and explored the photograph as object, because the photograph has kind of defined us as people, a lot of different tribes over the years, and kind of at times held us in one time period, and kind of suggested that we didn't make it, that we vanished. Because they were trying to document with a photograph of vanishing people. That was one of the intents behind people like Edward Curtis. So I'm trying to take that and reconstruct it. Take the photograph in the hands of a native person. What happens? Well, you deconstruct and then reconstruct what really happened. Which is, we survived. It was a hard thing after the reservation period started. And there's this whole untold story about what happened after we landed on and were forced onto reservations. And we're still here today, and a lot of that's because of the strength of our culture and the resilience and the fact that it was a oral tradition, the way we handed on information and visual culture. That's how we communicated things. So it's all the art in my community functions in that way, in a very hard to articulate way. It's channeling different levels of experience in this world, sort of alongside the one that we're living right now.
So to you, is water a human right?
Yes, that's what I've been taught, in my cultural upbringing as a Northern Cheyenne or a Tsitstas Suta person, is that we have, that's why water is there. It's for human beings to consume, and it's about we're about kind of maintaining a strong relationship with place, with this natural world, and trying to understand it on as many levels as we can and be aware of it. It's like when you look across this, just right where we're at, sitting on this picnic table next to the Dry Creek School, looks like, a bunch of weeds maybe here, but these are all plants that are usable, that have some purpose. They can either heal you physically, or they can sustain you. There's an edible component, or they're spiritual. They can be used ceremonially, and so there's a complexity just that we're sitting in right now. I mean, look at this is a milkweed. You could actually eat this, and sustain yourself. So that complexity is there, and all of that comes from water. I mean, in this piece that I've created here at Dry Creek School, I'm talking about the water that's in my homeland, that I've experienced, that I've grown up with, that I've come to know over my whole lifetime, and so I'm trying to help people see this is one way of interacting with water. Is get to know the water. Where does it come from? Where does it come out of the earth? It comes out of your tap for sure, hopefully every day. I mean, we expect it to, but where does it really come from? Where's the source of it? And that's where this piece leads people back to that source. And so if you do that, then you won't take too much. If you take an action to pray for that water, or whatever it is that you need to do to recognize and honor it, then you're going to measure how much you take automatically. That's what we do that's what I've been taught to do when I take something from the natural world, a plant or animal or something, is to say thank you. If you can think of water in terms of it being, I guess, an entity, or it's not something separate from us so much. We are it, and it is us, just like the land. We come from the land, we go back to the land. We're made up of the land.
There's a lot of people, though. I mean, we're dealing with overpopulation. So how do we feed everybody and transition?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, that really is a good question. But I think, like when I look back at how my people in the past dealt with it, I really think it is about establishing an ongoing, growing, strong relationship with the place that you're in. People that are close to the earth have an affinity for each other, farmers and native people to a certain extent. I mean, we've had our conflicts in the past, but definitely if you have a relationship with earth, you're going to find each other. But I think a level of humility about, knowing the earth, and understanding that we, none of us really know everything about the earth. There's more to know about it from other cultural backgrounds, I think, is really important. So one big thing I would say is, let's get humble, about this, and let's bring everybody to the table, and let's have a big discussion about how to do this.
Stay tuned for our upcoming water topic in Bozeman on August 29th. Is water a human right? You can find tickets at IamInterchange.org. This episode was produced by Chris Griffin, Tyson Lunn, and me, Tate Chamberlin. Our sponsors include Mountain Time Arts, Humanities Montana, the City of Bozeman, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, Montucky Cold Snacks, the Nova Cafe, 10 Directions, Headframe Spirits, Zocalo Coffee House, Sola Cafe, Whistle Pig Korean, Shank Construction, the Pride Foundation, Loken Productions, and Blunderbuss. If you like our podcast, don't forget to support our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/I Am Interchange.